Now we are going to start with the circulation. As you all know that transportation of substances is very important in the body, because something is produced somewhere and it is going to perform an action somewhere else. So let's say that something is produced in my head and it is going to function here. So we need a medium, or we need a transportation is very important, because we need to transfer that substance from this place to this place. So that means transportation is playing an important role again in our body also. So for that we have the circulating fluids. We have two kinds of circulating fluids, one is the blood and other is the lymph. So two circulating fluids, or you can say two systems first. We have two systems which are involved in the circulation. One is the blood circulatory system, other is the lymphatic system. In blood circulatory system, the fluid that transport things are blood, and in lymphatic system, the fluid which transports substances is the lymph. So first we are going to start with the blood circulatory system. So in that the circulating fluid is the blood. So this is what we are going to study here, that what actually is blood. So this is actually a sample of blood I have made, that what actually we get in the blood. So we see that blood is formed of two parts, or it is divided into two parts. One is the plasma, other is the blood cells. Blood consists of two parts, that is the plasma and the blood cells. So first, what is the plasma? First is that what is the plasma? Plasma is the pale yellow colored fluid. Plasma is the pale yellow colored fluid which has approximately 90% of water. It comprises of 90% of water is there, 90%, and rest 10% is the other organic and inorganic substances like hormones, enzymes, nutrients, proteins, antibodies, whatever which is found in the we found in the blood apart from water, that consists the 10%. So because the plasma contains these substances, that is why it acts as a medium for blood cells. That means the plasma is very important, because blood cells remain scattered in the plasma. And why they remain scattered? Because they get the medium, the plasma serve as a medium, that is why the cells remain live. So that means we need a plasma if we want the blood cells to survive. So we need a plasma, because due to presence of these substances acting as a medium. So this is what all the rest plays, all the place which is weakened, which is shown white, which I am drawing it black, is indicating everything is plasma. Everything is the plasma. And as I told you, what is plasma? A yellow colored fluid which is 90% water and 10% other substances, and because it possesses these kind of substances, therefore it acts as a medium for the blood cells. So this is what is the plasma. Next, coming to the blood cells, so we see that mainly we have three kind of blood cells which are found in the blood. One, as you can see that this is the one blood cell, the other type and the other type. Only three blood cells are visible in this sample also. So blood cells are red blood cells, which are commonly called as RBCs. We have white blood cells called as WBC, and we have platelets also. So now we are going to study them in detail, that how they look like, where they are formed, or likewise. See, all the cells, they are actually formed in the bone marrow. That is the cavity of the long bones. They are formed in bone marrow by a specialized cells called as stem cells. So all these cells are formed in the bone marrow. So this is a common characteristic which you need to remember. So now starting with the RBC first. That is the red blood cells. These ones are the red blood cells. So how they look like? They are disc-like. And you know that they are actually incomplete cell. They don't have mitochondria, which is powerhouse of cell. They don't have endoplasmic reticulum, which forms a framework, and although they don't have nucleus, and moreover they don't have nucleus. So it is actually an incomplete cell. We say that it is actually an incomplete cell. But we have seen that RBCs are numerous. That is why the color of blood is red. We all know that the blood appears to be red, that red color is due to red blood cells. So out of these three, the numerous cells are the RBCs. So RBCs are numerous in number. You know that why they are red? They are red because they contain a red color pigment that is called as hemoglobin. They contain a red color pigment that is hemoglobin. And what is this formed of? This is formed of iron. It is formed of iron. So the red blood cells are disc-like, incomplete cell, they are numerous, and they contain a red color pigment in them. That is why they appear to be red, and that is the hemoglobin formed of iron. And you know that the hemoglobin is just performing an important function. It helps in the transportation of gases. We already done in the respiration also that whenever the hemoglobin wants to transport oxygen, it forms a oxyhemoglobin complex, and whenever it transports carbon dioxide, it forms a complex carbenohemoglobin. So that means it can actually transport gases by forming complex with them. Now where they are formed? They are formed in bone marrow from stem cells. And if somebody asks you that where they are formed in infants, because in infants the bone marrow is not properly developed, so they are formed in spleen, only in case of infants, only in case of infants. And you know that what is the lifespan of RBC? It is just 120 days. Approximate value is 120 days. And you know that you must be thinking that whenever you are transfusing blood, when you are donating blood, so as I told you that RBCs are numerous, so whenever you are donating a blood, that means of 1 bottle, 2 bottle or 3 bottle, don't think like that your RBCs are lost from your body on that day. It's not like that, because their rate of formation is actually 10 times than the rate of RBCs that die, or the number of RBCs which are gone with the blood when you donate somebody. So there's no, you can say there's no limit of formation, because RBCs are numerous. They are formed in very large number. So they are formed in bone marrow from stem cells, or in infants it is it is formed in spleen. And you know that there is a special name other than RBC for RBC is erythrocytes. That is erythrocytes. So this is all about RBC. Now moving on to WBC. So what we see is, if we talk about WBC, this is WBC, this one. This what I have made, the irregular one, it is WBC. So as it is clear that it is of irregular shape, it is actually a cell which can change its shape according to its needs. So it is irregular in shape. WBC is irregular in shape. And though you can see that it is white in color, so that means it do not have any colored pigment. That is why it appears white. So it has no pigment in it. It has no pigment. And moreover, if we talk about that what does it contain actually, it is a complete cell. It contains everything. It contains nucleus, it contains mitochondria, it contains endoplasmic reticulum, it contains all organelles. It is a complete cell. Now there are different types of WBCs actually. We see that WBCs are of two types. One is granulocytes, other is agranulocytes. So as the name suggests, they will have granules and they will not have granules. So granulocytes are of three types. Granulocytes are of three types, that is neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. And agranulocytes again are just of two types, and two types are lymphocytes and monocytes. Now what is the basic difference between the two? The difference between the both are that they contain granules and they lack granules. And moreover, if we talk about neutrophils, it has two lobes, like the cell is like this with two lobes, a structure like this. Basophils, they don't have any distinct lobes, so you can make like this. And if we talk about eosinophils, they have three lobes. So let's say one lobe, two, and the three lobe like this. And when we talk about lymphocytes, they are big and spherical like this. And monocytes are somewhat horseshoe shaped, just like this kind of thing. So this is what is the monocytes. So these are the WBC, and if we talk about their lifespan, they last for 2 hours to 2 weeks. Their lifespan actually varies between 2 hours to 2 weeks. They can actually live for this span of time. And if you talk about the function of WBC is that they actually protect our body. They are actually called as soldiers of a body. They are actually called as soldiers of a body because they provide immunity to a body. They provide immunity. And what is immunity? It is resistance against disease. That means it protects us from disease. Now how it protect us? Either it eat up the foreign particles which are infection causing, it eat up the foreign particles, or it secrete certain substances which kill those foreign particles, and those substances are called as antibodies. So in both ways it is just providing the immunity. That means it is just acting as a soldier of a body. So this is what is the WBC. Now coming on to the third, and the other name for the WBC, I missed it, is the leukocytes. Leukocytes. The third cell which we have is the platelets. We have the platelets. The other name for the platelets is thrombocytes. Now, and we talk about that how they look like. So actually how they appear to be, they are actually colorless, irregular in shape, may or may not have nucleus, but maximum times they lack nucleus actually. And you know that their main function is that they are going to synthesize certain proteins which are going to perform an important function, that is the blood clotting, which is a very important task. As you know that whenever you get hurt sometime, so the blood starts oozing out, so you need to stop that blood, because if you won't stop that blood, then the blood will ooze out and it can cause a hemorrhage also, because the unnecessary loss of blood is called as hemorrhage. So in order to prevent that, the blood clotting is very important. The blood clotting is very, very, very important. So it is being this thing done by the proteins, and these proteins are synthesized by the platelets. And if you talk about the lifespan, it is around 4 to 18 days. The lifespan is 4 to 18 days. So this is all about the blood. Now we'll be doing that. As you all know about the blood, now you know about the plasma, you know about the blood cells, everything you know. Now we'll start with another formula, the type of the blood groups. As you all know that as you have, it appears that you all have the same kind of blood, but you cannot donate, like I cannot donate to a person who is having a different blood group. So that means blood groups also matter a lot. So now we'll be taking up the blood groups.